The Habs win again on a back-to-back night. Kirby Dach pots 2 goals. Nick Suzuki stays sizzling hot. We had a goal from Hoffman and a goal from FOR XHEKAJ. We're going to break everything down in this game reaction edition of Habs Digest. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to this game reaction edition of Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse, alongside Jesse Poirier. And before we get into the video, don't forget about 85% of you guys are not subscribed. Just a quick reminder, we have daily Habs content here. If you want to be kept up to date every single day, this is the place to do it. Jesse, that was a fun game, and I'm just going to come out right off the bat and say that that was probably Montreal's best game of the season. Even though we had a stretch in the third where we were getting a little dominated by Vancouver, I was happy with how everyone played tonight. We came in on a back-to-back after a long game last night that went to the shootout to win against Vancouver, and I could not be happier with the boys' performance.
That's so true. You know, we came out with a lot of energy tonight. Really didn't show that we're on the second night of a back-to-back. And what I really love, Josh, I completely agree, our most complete game of the season. Big key to that, our discipline. We really cut down on our penalties tonight, which was huge. You know, we know that we have the great first line playing amazing. Dach really showing the scoring touch now, but now with those other lines were playing amazing tonight. The Gallagher line was buzzing. We know Monahan's going to win faceoffs. We know Evans is going to bring energy. So, you know, when everybody's playing like this, we're really playing like a complete team.
Everyone really bought in tonight, and it felt like part of that is, you know, when you buy into a system or concepts or however you want to say it, things are going to bounce your way. You know, you're eventually going to have people in the right place at the right time, and no one exemplified that more tonight than Kirby Dach. I mean, the man was in the right place at the right time so many times tonight. Early in the game, you know, Suzuki scored less than a minute in on the power play, which was amazing. Our power plays may be finally rolling, even though we didn't score for the rest of the game on the PP. But, and then Xhekaj Scores, but like later in the game, Kirby Dach is just right there on the doorstep, ready for the Canucks turnover, and he just pots it. I believe it was 5-hole, maybe right under the glove, but he was fighting for the puck, right in the right spot at the right time. And then later in the game, off a board battle, the goal that sealed the deal after Montreal was up 4-0, gave up 2 quick goals to Vancouver, got a little scary. Cole Caufield goes in and bodies Tyler Myers. I believe he's, 6'7", just an absolute beast of a human. Caufield fights him off, wins the puck battle in the corner. Eventually, Suzuki scoops it up, feeds it to a wide open Dach with no one near him, and he snipes it far side to seal the deal, making it 5-2. And I was so impressed with that whole first line tonight against Suzuki getting a couple points. Caufield got an assist, Dach scoring 2. I mean, do you think this is like, I mean, I know this is going to be the first line the rest of the way, but like, how good do you think this line is in comparison with some other first lines in the league? Because at their performance right now, they've got to be up there.
Yeah, we already know that Suzuki and Caufield are one of the best 2 duos in the NHL right now. And now with the new line adding Dach, it's going to take a couple more games because, you know, they haven't been together that long. But the points are going to come because since they've been together, they've just been absolutely amazing. And what I like about that last goal that we scored tonight to make it 5-2, I like how you broke that down, Josh. And what I really liked from Dach was his awareness in the offensive zone, his positioning. He was anticipating at first the puck kind of getting sent around the boards to come around the other side. So he's kind of swooping in on the left flank. But then as he sees that Suzuki's getting that puck, he's just going right to the net, just head up and sniping it. And he's just playing really amazing. I know a lot of Blackhawks fans just have to be kicking themselves right now seeing this.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we got him for, Romanov is not nothing. He's been playing fine this season. And of course we gave up some draft capital, but man, like, you know, maybe Dach had a bit of a slow start to the season. We were playing him with Monahan. We weren't sure what his home was going to be for this team. Was he going to be a center? Was he going to be a winger? I mean, his face-off percentage wasn't great, but I think he's found his home. I think this first line is just clicking so well. As I've mentioned before, Dach brings like a smartness and a fluidity to that first line alongside his size that really complements Suzuki and Caufield extremely well. And as we saw tonight, as Martin St. Louis has said, that third guy on the line with 2 stars needs to know that he has to win his battles. He needs to make the right plays to get the puck to those guys. But in tonight's case, those 2 guys were fighting to get the puck. Dach needed to know his place, and that was right in front of the net. I mean, this first line's been amazing, but, you know, let's go on to some other amazing performances from Habs players tonight. I mean, I want to talk about FOR XHEKAJ. I mean, he scored again. Like the sheriff scores again, and it almost went under the radar because it was it was just another sort of lob from the point. Well, not a lob. Xhekaj, even if it looks like a lob, it's a hard shot. It gets tipped by someone in front, but Xhekaj scores his second NHL goal, which is just massive for him, massive for the Habs. We've seen Xhekaj play on the second power play now. I mean, what do you think this is doing for his confidence, even though I'm sure it's already sky high?
Yeah, and what I like about his confidence is he comes across as a guy that's confident, not cocky. And that's what I really like. I think that that's important with a young player as talented as he is. I think that his skating is really underrated. I'm sure you must have noticed this as well, Josh, during the game, just a couple times where he's in the neutral zone, right? And he's kind of making guys miss and just making the smart play and getting the puck in deep. And of course, yeah, I think Marty is onto something having him on the second team of the power play because, I mean, this guy can shoot as well.
Yeah, he can. As Martin St. Louis said, he has a heavy shot. Just like a lot of the Habs young guys. I mean, Slavkovsky has a heavy shot. Xhekaj has a heavy shot. Even someone like Kovacevic has a heavy shot. And he was back in the lineup tonight. I mean, he did technically pick up an assist on, another guy who scored, Mike Hoffman. They gave him an assist. I'm not really sure why. It looked like Hoffman just kind of won a board battle there. Not even a board battle. I mean, I think it was just the Canucks defenseman misplayed the puck. Just lost it. It felt like the Canucks were all over the place tonight. But Hoffman breaks in. Technically, that's Kovacevic's first point of the season for Montreal. But as Hoffman comes in and just snipes it far side, that's the kind of shot that we're used to seeing from Mike Hoffman of 3 or 4 years ago, right? The guy that will just come in and fire a hard snapshot right past the blocker or the glove of the goalie. And it's felt like since we saw him debut with Gallagher's line last night in Detroit, where he scored 2 goals, both off Gallagher rebounds, maybe this is his home too. You put him on a line with Gallagher, even if Gallagher doesn't affect the goal and good things happen for Hoffman. I mean, are you encouraged by what we've seen from Hoffman these last 2 games, scoring 3 goals, or do you think this might just be a flash in the pan and he'll be going back to his old self?
Well, as you've said in previous videos, Josh, is we know that the man can shoot, right? So it's not like he just kind of forgot overnight and he's just going to wake up and he's a terrible hockey player. Like it's there. It's just sometimes, he's a little bit of a streaky player, right? When he's hot, he's hot. When he gets cold, he's cold, But I thought he played a great game. I wasn't too impressed with his second period intermission, though, where he was saying, we're up 4-0. We don't need any more goals. I'm like, what?
Ugh.
We need all the goals. We need to keep scoring and everything else like that. But no, honestly, it's nice to see him play. I mean, everybody was playing good tonight. Even we see Dadonov drawing a penalty, making a nice play in the offensive zone as well. So pretty much everybody had a good game, except for Drouin, of course, missing that empty net.
Yeah, I was impressed with Dadonov tonight. I thought he played, in my notes here I have, it says Dadonov played fast. And it's not something we've really seen from him this year. It felt like he was really in an extra gear tonight. He had a couple really nice stick handling moves to get around the defense, even if he couldn't quite finish anything. But like you said, he actually made that pass to Drouin right on the doorstep, I believe. As Drouin just wide open net, fires it wide. I think he's in his own head at this point. I mean, I think when Anderson comes back, Drouin's got to be the first one to get scratched. I mean, maybe Michael Pezzetta, but I don't think he played poorly tonight. Just didn't play a lot. I mean, he did what he needed to do in his few minutes. And hey, Rem Pitlick didn't get claimed on waivers. I saw someone say in a Reddit thread, when Slavkovsky got suspended for 2 games, they said, well, all right, well, we finally found a way to manage our issue of having too many forwards. I just feel bad for the next people that are getting boarded by our players. To move on from those goals, I mean, I thought that Montreal overall tonight, I think our penalty kill is still very, very good. It seems like we're able to kill off some amazing penalties tonight. Also, last night, of course, we killed off a full 5-minute major, even though 2 of that was 4-on-4 time. But our defense has been okay. We, like you said, we were hoping we could finally outshoot a team. I mean, we got outshot badly in the third. Another classic Montreal stretch where our defense can't quite clear the zone. We're just getting bombarded. We don't have our legs in that third period. Again, that attitude from Hoffman at the second intermission really looks a lot worse after you see how Montreal came out and played in the third. But with that said, I think Montreal's defense, while maybe they weren't amazing tonight, there were some guys who had great moments. Jordan Harris, I felt like throughout the whole game, had a lot of really nice pokes with his stick, stuff that doesn't even get noticed by even the commentators. I thought he played pretty well. Gouli was solid again. Edmondson was okay again. Savard is always out there blocking shots, stick handling. Do you have a player tonight that maybe flew under the radar that's not Suzuki, Dach, or even maybe Hoffman that you thought had a good game?
Yeah, that's a great point, Josh. Like, I think Harris is one of those players, kind of like the silent assassins. Like, you never seem to see him too much on the ice, but he's playing, probably the most out of all of our rookie defensemen so far this year. So he just seems to be a player. It's like when a defenseman, when they're doing their job well, is you don't really notice them as much on the ice, right? So he's just so smooth in his game. So I was definitely a big fan of his tonight.
Yeah, me too. Um, let's see, what else do I have here? I mean, there were some interesting physical plays this game. To me, Vancouver tonight looked really tentative. I don't know if there are any Canucks fans watching this, but I'm wondering if this has been a theme throughout the whole season for them. They're not. They have some big players, like someone like Tyler Myers, but they're not really a physical team. It felt like Montreal was just abusing them physically throughout the whole game, getting to wherever they wanted to go, creating their own opportunities. And Vancouver relied a little more on their finesse to try and get some goals and stuff, but it really wasn't working. They seemed tentative, and Montreal was taking advantage of that. We had some moments like in the second period, late in the second period, Kirby Dach was coming into the offensive zone. Ekman Larson looked like he was maybe lining up a hit. He looked a little and Dach just steamrolls him after dumping the puck in. We had a Brendan Gallagher moment where he was trying to get in the head of Demko and the Canucks, where he was trying to bat a puck out of the air, and the Canucks just pummeled him into the ground, and we got a power play out of it. Felt like we were really getting into the Canucks' head with our physicality tonight, and do you think that's something that Montreal can carry through for the rest of the season?
Yeah, just playing with speed, that's definitely our game, and also just getting to the front of the net, just having that physicality, on a night where we're celebrating our military and everything else. Like, Gallagher was just a complete soldier out on the ice, just sacrificing his body, just going to the net hard. He's just going to the net hard, right? When he's hitting Demko like that, it's just what he does. So that's nothing new from him. So yeah, that was the big difference in this game, right? Is we were taking the game to the Canucks. We were going to the front of the net. We're going to those dirty areas. We're getting tips, and everything like that. And lo and behold, Canucks, the only time where they got any momentum in this game is where we maybe took the foot off the pedal a little bit to start off the third. And then they started getting to the front of the net, right? And that's where they got some momentum and eventually scored as a result of that. But I think this team knows the way that we need to play. And like you said, Josh, this is our most complete game of the season, and we really showed that we know how to play a proper game of hockey tonight.
Yeah, I was hoping for another Gala goal, but we didn't quite get it. One guy I wanted to mention too, before this video is done, before we're done talking about Montreal, again, Samuel Montembeault stepping in. Jake Allen has been so good in every game he's played this season, basically. He's just been awesome, super reliable to have back there. But Monty, maybe not so quietly not so quietly, has been playing very, very well. I mean, he didn't give up a single goal through the first two periods of tonight, and in the third, we got heavily outshot, and we were playing tired for a lot of the game, giving the Canucks a lot more opportunities. And the goals he gave up, there was one point shot where he was completely screened, didn't see it. The other one, his defense blew a coverage, and Hoglander was left right in front of the net for an easy putback. But other than that, Montembeault made some fantastic saves. Felt like he didn't do too much. He just did exactly what he needed to do, and I just want to know your thoughts on him, because for me, knowing that we have someone like him to back up Allen, a surprise, it's like one of the bigger Montreal surprises this season. It just makes me feel really good for the guy.
Yeah, the big knock going on Samuel Montembeault coming into this season is his rebound control. But so far, to start this season, it's been a completely different story. He's just being like a vacuum. Any pucks has come to him, and he's taking it right up, right? He's played great so far. So yeah, you'd almost have to think. I know that we had some new coaching for our goaltending, that did change as a result of last year, and you got to think of maybe they're playing a role of really just getting the best out of our two goaltenders at this moment.
Yeah, you hope so. I mean, one of his biggest saves of the night near the end of the first period, there was a one-timer for Besser, and it was a nice kick save by Monty, and that, to me, was maybe not a game changer, but a game saver, because if he didn't save that puck, who knows what could have happened. Vancouver gets a goal, gets momentum, but he played so well tonight. I thought Montreal played well all across the board tonight. We got a little lucky in that third period. I don't know if you caught it when Vancouver got that power play late on that, I think, Caden Gooley hold that I'm still not really sure what he did. Back-to-back nights with a questionable holding call. They hit two posts on the same power play within about 30 seconds of each other, but it doesn't matter. It's not a shot on goal. You won't notice it in the score sheet. And Montreal came down, and Kirby Dach scored that game-sealing goal at the very end. Other than that, Jesse, do you have anything else to talk about after this amazing win tonight, or are we good to wrap this up?
Shout out Ben Rogers, Godfather of Digest Media. Shout out Slovakia. Shout out Canada, wherever everybody's kind of tuning in from, everything. We just appreciate your guys' support. So thank you guys once again so much.
Yeah, like words cannot describe how amazing this has been, how quickly we've grown, how much you guys are supporting us. Ben, yes, thank you if you're watching. And man, everyone from Slovakia, Canada, United States, and wherever you may be. I'm Josh Gosse for my co-host Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next video.